You've seen it, right? You're at the store, just trying to grab some toothpaste or laundry detergent, and bam, it's locked up behind a plastic case. It's kind of annoying, sure, but have you ever really stopped to wonder why?
I mean, it is happening everywhere, and no, you are not imagining it. Having to flag down an employee just to buy some soap, it feels a little nuts. But this isn't just about stopping a few random shoplifters. It is a huge sign of something way bigger and frankly way more organized happening just behind the curtain. So let's get into what is really going on.
Okay, so why detergent? Why baby formula? It turns out this isn't random at all. There is a very specific and surprisingly profitable reason behind what gets put under lock and key.
So here's the wild part. Thieves aren't stealing Tide Pods because they have mountains of laundry to do. Nope. They are targeting these specific items because they are basically untraceable cash. Think about it. They're easy to resell, everyone needs them, and there are no serial numbers to track them. On the black market, laundry detergent is basically a form of currency.
And you know, it's easy to just dismiss this as a problem for some giant corporation, but the reality on the ground is getting genuinely dangerous. Just listen to this from Target CEO Brian Cornell. He said, during the first 5 months of this year, our store saw a 120% increase in theft incidents involving violence or threats of violence. That is a massive jump, and it's putting both employees and shoppers like you and me at risk.
So yeah, this clearly isn't about someone pocketing a candy bar on their way out the door. The sheer scale of it, and especially that rise in violence, well, it all points to something much more coordinated, something professional.
And that professional operation, it actually has a name. Organized Retail Crime, or ORC. This is the real reason your deodorant is behind glass.
So, I want you to completely forget the image of a teenager sneaking a comic book. ORC is a full-blown criminal enterprise. These people don't want the stuff for themselves, they are in it for the money. They operate like a business with a whole supply chain built on stealing massive amounts of goods with only one goal, to flip them for a profit.
And the difference is really night and day. Petty shoplifting is usually impulsive, an act of opportunity for personal use. But ORC, that is a planned, tactical operation. We're talking large-scale repeated hits on stores, all with the goal of systematically reselling or fencing the merchandise.
And these are not lone wolves. They operate in these surprisingly sophisticated networks. At the very top, you have the ringleaders, the ones planning the whole heist. They direct the people on the ground called boosters. Those are the folks who actually walk into the stores and steal the goods. Then you've got mules who transport the stolen products, and finally, the fences, who buy it all up and sell it, often on what look like totally legitimate online marketplaces, making it almost impossible to trace.
Okay, so this is a huge organized problem, but what's the actual damage? The real cost is so much bigger than just a few empty spaces on a store shelf.
All right, get ready for this number. In 2022 alone, retailers in the U.S. lost over $112 billion to what the industry calls shrink. That's their catch-all term for lost inventory. Just to put that into perspective for you, that is more than the entire GDP of Puerto Rico. And that staggering cost, it doesn't just disappear, it gets passed on to all of us through higher prices and, yep, those locked cabinets.
And the scary thing is, this problem is only getting worse. The trend lines are all pointing straight up. Projections are showing these losses could blow past $143 billion by 2025. This thing is not slowing down.
But it is really important to be precise here. Organized crime isn't the only reason for these massive losses. It's a huge piece of the pie, sure. About 36% of all that shrink comes from external theft. But look at this. Nearly as much comes from internal employee theft, and even just simple process failures and paperwork errors. So the problem is really complex, with issues coming from both outside and inside the company.
But honestly, beyond the billions of dollars, we have to talk about the human cost. This isn't just about stolen stuff. It's about violence. An executive from American Eagle Outfitters, Scott McBride, described what their employees are up against, and it is absolutely chilling. He said, "Our store staff face threats with knives, guns, and even dirty needles. They use pepper spray, destroy displays, and physically assault associates." I mean, that is the brutal reality on the front lines of this fight.
So when you're faced with that level of violence and loss, you have to do something. Retailers are being forced to fight back. They're not just standing by. They are rolling out a whole new arsenal of defenses to protect their stores, their people, and their customers.
And it all starts with those locked cases themselves. They're getting a major tech upgrade with what are called smart locks.
We're not talking about simple keys anymore. These things create a digital audit trail, so the store knows exactly who opened a case and when. Plus, a lot of them lock automatically, so an employee can't accidentally leave a case open after helping someone. It's all about removing opportunity and human error.
But you can't win this fight just at the store level. These crime rings are national operations. They'll hit stores in California one week and then Florida the next. That's exactly why retailers are pushing for federal laws, like the Combatant Organized Retail Crime Act. The whole idea is to create a national center where law enforcement from different states can finally connect the dots and see the entire criminal network.
So, smart locks and new laws are what's happening now. But where does all this go from here? Well, the next chapter in this crazy cat-and-mouse game is all about technology, and the key player is going to be artificial intelligence.
AI is about to completely change the game. Instead of just reacting to theft by locking things up after they've become a target, AI promises something different, a proactive approach, spotting a potential theft before it even happens.
So how does that even work? It's pretty fascinating, actually. Instead of using facial recognition, these new AI systems are trained to analyze body language. They're looking for the telltale movements and postures of someone who is about to steal, like the specific way a person might conceal an item. So it's about recognizing suspicious actions, not faces.
And this is the absolutely crucial part. It's designed to protect privacy. The system doesn't see faces. It doesn't identify people. It just sees an anonymous silhouette. Basically, a collection of joints and limbs. It's tracking the action, not the person. And this means stores can spot suspicious behavior without resorting to profiling or collecting a bunch of our personal data.
And this all leads us to the big, critical question we're all left with. As these technologies get smarter and become more common, we have to ask about the trade-offs. We all want to feel safe when we're shopping, and we all want to be able to buy toothpaste without a hassle. But at what cost to our privacy? Finding that balance? Well, that might just be the biggest challenge facing the future of retail.